All right, the highlight video from Friday, October 21st, GreatStockPicks.com, live trading chat room. A couple really nice calls today. Well, okay, a couple calls today. One of them was really nice. And then in the afternoon, I literally had 3 frustrating trades back to back to back, and I'm going to show you those too. And so, you know, sometimes it just happens. On at least one of them, I could have gotten back in, but I was already skittish because of options expiration. And, you know, we were winding down till a weekend when who knows what's going to come out of Europe, so I was kind of anxious to get flat and get outside in the beautiful Florida weather. Having said all that, here was the first call of the day, PCS. You can see the gap up today. These are 5-minute candles and a nice stair-step pattern. Called it. I said if it broke this candle's high, 926 with a 921 stop. Only a nickel risk. There was a trigger, and then we got up through the high of the day, which is what I was hoping for. It only went to 945, so not even 20 cents, 19 cents move, but on a nickel risk. And you see 5-minute candles. It happened fairly slowly. Plenty of time. Put some money in your pocket. And, I mean, not a bad way to start the day. CPWR, you know we focus on these stocks that are getting killed. I was projecting this live in our chat room. And a trade idea that I verbally put out, not via a pop-up announcement, but verbally, while I was showing the chart, was 802 with a low of day stop 795. Only 7 cents risk. And that was back on the way up, by the way. So 802. And it made it to almost 860. Very nice percentage gain on 7 cents risk that never got stopped out. It actually held up pretty well. And then I'm going to go into the 3 aggravating ones that went back to back to back. And sometimes, you know, you ever heard a trader say, I was right, I was just early? sometimes we're 3 years early before we get to say we're right. But kind of a little joke in the trading world. What were they here? Let's see. COH, Coach, was kind of doing one of those pushes down. And it looked like this when I called it. I said 59.03 with a low of day stop, which was only a dime risk. But I did say, you know, these I didn't say live because I had the mic off at the time, but I posted the idea, 59.03, 58.93. So a dime risk. You can't tell here by this candle, but it triggered, went down, stopped out, and then took off. And then that's the one that I probably could have got myself in the room back in, and it just went without me. The old one of our traders calls it a wash and rinse, where it takes out the stops below 59, even though it had already been below 59 and then took off. So it's pretty aggravating to watch Coach run all the way to 60.64 when I called it a 59.03 and got a dime stop out and never looked back to it. You know, that's the case of being right but timing it wrong. And you know, it doesn't matter if you were right if you time it wrong, right? What was the other ones? ILMN, same deal on this sell-off. And it really, the whole market did this, is why it got me with the stops too. And I don't know if it's options related, Europe related, or just horrible timing on my part. But ILMN also called above this little base right here at 26.65, and I think the stop was low of day. It triggers. 10 minutes later, takes out the low of the day, and then proceeds to just rip higher. And another one, I was a baby today. I got through it. My hands said, you know what, I'm done for the day. Didn't want to mess with the market going into options expiration and Europe anyway. But the third one, FCS, called it at the time at 13.24 right here. Actually, in hindsight, I think I called it at 13.25. So I'm not even sure if this one triggered. But then it pulled back, and then it ended up moving too. That one may not have triggered. So anyway, that was the highlights and lowlights of the day. And I think that encompassed all of the calls from the day. Nope. Also had a call on Crocs this morning. That gave you about 2 hours to get out flat. I can't remember what I called it. 15.24 right about here. My thinking on Crocs was if that can work its way back to the high of the day and get through, we've got a great trade on our hands, because look at this daily. And Crocs will be on Bounce Watch again on Monday, by the way, but it never did get going. 15.24. The highest they got was 15.32, but it gave you gave our members, I should say, an hour to an hour and a half to kill that thing flat. So there's another one. If they didn't, they finally got stopped out here. And that was it. So really a lackluster day for what looks like a very strong day for most people when they get home from work. I just didn't call it well. CPWR and PCS, really the only decent calls of the day. And that's it. Have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to having this weekend potential Europe overhang behind us. Not that I think they're going to fix everything in Europe over the weekend, but really nobody. I told our members I didn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't have felt comfortable shorting into this weekend. Hoping for bad news out of Europe, or going long, hoping for good news, because either one could happen. And if either one does, you're looking at a big gap one way or the other potentially on Monday morning. So pretty comfortable being flat, and a little bit aggravated for two reasons. One, stopping out on those calls in the afternoon and then watching them run. And two, the Cardinals lost last night, so I was already a little testy. But anyway, we'll get it back Monday, and looking forward to trading Monday. So have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you then.